Hey there, focused learners, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're tackling a topic that literally touches every single one of us. But man, does it bring a lot of unnecessary stress. Personal finance. My absolute goal today is to completely demystify budgeting for you. We're going to break down these complex financial concepts into a highly structured, visual, and incredibly effective system that you can start using the very minute this explainer is over.
So have you ever just stared at your bank account at the end of the month and thought, wait, where did all my money go? Seriously, you work hard, you earn a steady paycheck, but somehow when the month wraps up, there's absolutely nothing left over. Look, if you felt that creeping financial anxiety, I want to validate that right now. It is incredibly common, and you are definitely not alone.
Okay, let's dive into this and get a solid plan together. Here's our agenda for today. First, we'll uncover where your money actually goes. Second, the 50-30-20 breakdown. Third, the formula in action. Fourth, some budgeting traps to avoid. And finally, exactly how you can start today.
All right, Section 1. Where did your money go? The real problem with your finances.
You know, simply working hard and earning a paycheck, well, it's just not enough if you aren't actively tracking what happens to that cash next. The real fundamental issue here is that most folks simply don't have a system to control their money. It's really not just about how much you make. So today, we're going to fix that. We're introducing you to one of the absolute simplest, most effective budgeting methods out there. Millions of people use this to manage their finances and build their future. It is time to stop flying blind.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 50-30-20 breakdown. This is where every single dollar needs a purpose. Now, this framework was widely popularized by U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and her daughter in their personal finance book. And the core philosophy? It's simple, but honestly, it's profound. Instead of randomly spending your money and just crossing your fingers that you have something left to save, you decide exactly where your money goes before you even spend it. And this brilliantly illustrates that whole concept. Think of this donut chart as your new financial anchor. The formula basically dictates that your after-tax income gets sliced into 3 distinct pieces. 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and 20% is dedicated strictly to savings and investments. It's clean, it's visual, and it totally removes the guesswork. Let's break down what actually belongs in each of these slices.
Let's start with the biggest slice. The first 50% of your income goes straight toward your essential needs. We're talking about the stuff you literally cannot avoid if you want to keep life running. Your rent or mortgage, utilities like water and electricity, basic groceries, transportation, health insurance, and your minimum required debt payments. And hey, just to be clear, groceries doesn't mean those gourmet, high-end supermarket sprees, okay? It means the basics that keep you fed and housed. The golden rule to remember here is that keeping your basic lifestyle within this 50% limit is absolutely vital for financial freedom. Because if your fundamental needs eat up too much of your paycheck, getting ahead becomes incredibly tough.
To really put into perspective why that limit matters, let's look at a quick comparison. There is this massive myth out there that making more money automatically equals financial freedom. But listen to this. A person earning $100,000 a year who is spending $95,000 on a totally inflated lifestyle, they are not financially free. They're trapped. On the flip side, a person earning $50,000 who keeps their basic needs low and saves consistently, they are actively building long-term wealth. Systems and limits matter way more than your raw income.
Okay, now for the fun part. The next 30% is for your wants. Listen, money's a tool, and having a solid budget absolutely does not mean you can never enjoy your life. This category covers the fun stuff: eating out at that new restaurant, grabbing those concert tickets, weekend trips, shopping, and yeah, even those 7 different streaming subscriptions you completely forgot to cancel. You really should enjoy your money today while building for tomorrow. But here's the catch. The trap you have to avoid is spending 80 or 90% of your income right here. That is exactly why so many people just can't save. So we cap the fund at a solid 30%.
And finally, we reach the absolute most crucial part of the formula, that final 20% dedicated to savings and investments. This is the money that actively builds your future. It's your emergency fund, your retirement accounts, investments in the stock market, paying off extra debt beyond the minimums, and building passive income. This slice right here, this is where the magic of compound interest lives. The earlier you start filling this 20% bucket, the more incredibly powerful your money becomes over time.
All right, Section 3, the formula in action. Let's take a look at Sarah's $6,000 monthly income.
Let's take this from abstract theory into concrete practice. Meet Sarah. Let's say she takes home exactly $6,000 a month after taxes. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how beautifully the math just clicks into place for her. With that $6,000, 50% for needs means she has a strict ceiling of $3,000 for her rent, groceries, and bills. Her 30% for wants gives her a super comfortable $1,800 for dining out and hobbies. And critically, she automatically allocates her 20%, that's $1,200 every single month, straight into savings and investments.
There is zero guessing, no confusion, and absolutely no waiting until the end of the month to see if there are just scraps left over. Now, I know some of you might be looking at that and thinking, well, that's great, but I live in New York, or I have massive student loans. Look, the rule is a starting point, right? It's not some strict, unbreakable law. If you live in a crazy expensive city, your needs might naturally push to 60%, giving you a 60-20-20 split. Or if you're dealing with high debt, you might need to run a really aggressive 70-20-10 plan. The formula is completely flexible. The absolute most important thing is simply having a proactive system in place.
Which brings us to Section 4, budgeting traps to avoid. Don't let bad habits ruin a good system.
Because honestly, even the best system in the world won't work if you let bad habits sabotage your efforts. Mistake number 1 is tracking your expenses, but not actually changing your habits. You could have the most beautiful, meticulously color-coded spreadsheet in the universe, but just writing down that you blew your budget on takeout does absolutely nothing to fix your finances. A budget is not a diary, guys. It requires real action and a genuine commitment to altering your spending patterns when you hit those percentage limits.
So the crucial point is making this mindset shift. Pay yourself before paying everyone else. This directly addresses mistake number 2, which is just saving whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. Most people spend first and try to save later, which, let's be real, usually results in saving zero. Successful budgeters completely flip the script. They secure that 20% savings first, literally the day they get paid, and then they spend what remains. And then there's mistake number 3, ignoring the small expenses. It is so incredibly easy to dismiss a $5 coffee, a tiny little online purchase, or a forgotten $15 streaming subscription for a show you finished 3 months ago. But the math doesn't lie. These tiny, repeated expenses, they silently compound into thousands of dollars lost every single year. They are quietly draining your 30% wants category without you even noticing.
All right, our final section, Section 5, How to Start Today. This is your step-by-step launchpad.
We've covered the theory, the math, and the pitfalls. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable plan. Step 1, calculate your exact monthly after-tax income. Step 2, list out all your current expenses. Step 3, ruthlessly separate those expenses into your needs, wants, and savings categories. Step 4, look at the percentages and find the areas where you need to improve to hit your targets. And Step 5, which is honestly the biggest game changer. Automate your savings. If you make savings easy and automatic, you never even have to think about it. Consistency is absolutely everything.
As we wrap up today, I really want you to internalize this. The 50-30-20 rule is not some get-rich-quick scheme. It is all about creating control. True financial success isn't just about desperately trying to earn more and more money. It's about effectively managing the money you already have in your hands right now. A person who controls their money today is the person who creates true, lasting freedom for tomorrow.
I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Are you ready to take control of your every dollar and create your future freedom today? The whole system is laid out right in front of you. All you have to do is apply it. If you found this explainer insightful and you want to continue mastering your finances, make sure to subscribe for more simple, structured money lessons. Start small, stay consistent, and take control of your financial future today.